Things are starting. Is that the Star Wars 1313 game?
How are you, Los Angeles? Come on, Hollywood. That's what
They're outside.
I like to hear. What's up, my fellow Jedi? I'm Greg Miller, and today we're talking Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We've been waiting so... You know what? We're talking about Star Wars. Yeah. We've been waiting so long for details on this game. I can't believe it. Can you believe it, LA? And we're finally here to help us get things started. We've got the head of Respawn, Vince Zampella, and the director of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Stig Asmussen. Everybody give it up.
This
for
guy's
Vince
like
and Stig.
real
Come
pumped
on.
about it. I love his energy though. It's cool.
Get in there.
It's very casual, like very casual presentation.
Give me
Like
the hug, Vince.
we want
Let's
you
get
guys
it
sitting on
going.
these like
Yeah,
marshmallow
yeah.
stool things. That's cool.
Please keep it going. They're making a Star Wars game. Guys, welcome to EA Play.
Can't wait for the cringe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great welcome.
How are
Thank
you
you.
feeling right now? No pressure. You're just about to announce maybe one of the biggest, if not the biggest, games of your lives.
I'm gonna let Stig answer this one.
You're supposed to answer this one.
Off script.
So
Oh yeah, we're totally off script. They
So-
gave me cards. That was the dumb
officially off
idea.
script.
Nobody cared.
so awesome to be here. I mean, it's EA Play, it's E3, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really get any bigger than that.
Yeah, this is something that Stig and I have been envisioning for years
Interesting.
to see it come to life and be able to show you guys 15 minutes of gameplay. today.
What? 15 whole minutes? Oh my god, we're so
Uncut.
fortunate.
All right. So everybody's anxious to see what this 15 minutes is going to be.
Yeah.
For somebody watching right now who's just a FIFA fan, they don't know anything. What is happening? What is this game all about, Vince?
This is a single-player action-adventure game. Set
Okay.
post. Oh yeah. Oh.
People like that.
Everybody.
People like that.
Set post Order 66 after the events in Episode 3, when all the Jedi were hunted down. Well, not all. When the Jedi were hunted down and eliminated.
So,
Spoiler
Stig,
alert. Come on,
that's
man.
the nutshell of the entire game. What are we about to see? Where are we at in the game right now for context?
Okay, so Cal's, like, this takes place maybe about 3 hours into the game.
Okay.
So Cal's built himself up. He's not a lowly Padawan anymore, but he's not a full Jedi yet.
Sure.
Like Vince said,
He's becoming
this
a
is
Jedi?
unedited.
Interesting.
We had one of our star players, Blair, over there.
That's it right there!
This is an expert playthrough.
Okay.
So we're going to see some really cool stuff.
He practiced a few times. 2 or 3, Blair? 2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3 dozen.
It takes place on Kashyyyk, which
Okay.
is the Wookiee planet.
Of course.
And Cal's on a mission to
Why
restart
is
the Jedi
everything
Order.
on Kashyyyk?
And it takes him here to Kashyyyk. And the Wookiees have been enslaved by the Empire, who's basically siphoning the planet for all its resources to build up the Imperial war machine.
Got it?
Okay.
All right, so I brought up my phone, not to be rude, of course. It wouldn't be Greg Miller if I didn't look at the Twitch chat. And yeah, they are all through with us talking. They'd like to see the game. We've gone on long enough. We're not going to drone.
Let's do it.
Vince,
Well, let's roll.
would you like to kick it off?
Let's go.
Let's see the game. I'm very interested in this game. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see what they have to show here. Ooh, circles. Start journey. Press A. Alpha game footage. Oh, they have like their own version of rats on this planet. That's cool. Why is there a droid on your back? Yeah, that's cool. You use the force to grab the vine, to swing.
Over here.
It looks a little rough as far as the running on the walls. It looks... Why didn't they see him? There was a trooper standing right there. Why didn't they see him?
What does the Empire want with tree sap?
Nothing good.
They refine the sap into a powerful compound, and they're rushing to expand production.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan. We don't know their end game, but they spread themselves too thin. This map we recovered proves it.
Okay, droid.
These
I like how all the
refineries
tech in
double
Star
as
Wars
prison
just fits
camps.
into a droid.
Use those cutters to create a distraction, while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside. We need their help to stop the Empire.
Understood.
Watch yourself in there.
You hear that?
You're right. You're right, Falcon. It's EA. Actually, I expect there to be microtransactions to, like, you can have the cosmetics of the running ability look better if you pay like $5 or something. That's what I expect. And that guard might have been a good guy guard. I don't know how he knew this guy was a good guy also, but he just let him in. I'm gonna be honest, this looks a lot like Star Wars Force Unleashed. Whoa. I love the scale of that though. I love the TIE fighters flying by. Like, they're so big, like they're huge. And you don't get that scale when you play older Star Wars games. Like, everything's so large. Nobody saw or heard that? Okay. Those guys didn't hear? Okay.
Over there. One of the cutters turned on. Are you ready? Ready to drill?
It's definitely not a stealth game.
Will that be a breach of protocol? If there's a disturbance, their squad can call it in. Yeah. Better do this by the book. Movement.
Oh god, that was cool. He missed all of those shots. Like, he was casually strafing to the right and he just missed all those shots. Classic Stormtrooper. Classic.
Attention all units. Resolve contact troops stationed at cargo pad 119.
Why are they coming one at a time, though?
Posts and stay alert.
I wonder what that dot is. There's a dot on all the bad guys as you are fighting them. I wonder what that is. This guy looks like trouble.
This is what I'm trained for.
Yeah, it's like a laser beam or something. Laser pointer. It's like pointed at the character.
I will make you learn.
Oh god.
We've got them on the run.
Huh.
Pushing. Looks like you're blocked. I'll fix that. Never seen a trooper like that before. You gotta get these Wookiees out of lockup. Keep moving, Jedi.
Is this Forrest Whitaker's character from Rogue One?
Think you can help me, BD?
What was that? Health? That was cool.
Flame beetles, they're coming through the wall.
I say let him kill the stormtroopers. Like, I wouldn't even interfere in that. Did this to themselves. Ouch. Fire. He just froze him with force powers. That seems a bit overpowered for a Jedi to use that. Like, I feel like any force user can just use that and always win. I mean, for a video game, they probably have a limit on it, but in real life, like, or I guess in Star Wars lore.
You sure you want to plug into this thing? Okay.
Oh God. Whoa.
That's what you wanted to get this thing.
That was lucky, honestly.
You had no idea that was there, did you? You just wanted to turn that cutter on.
Okay, that's cool.
Shoot him! Not an easy target!
Stormtroopers. Oh, it got webbed. Okay. Cool. So there may be different types of enemies in this game rather than just stormtroopers and, you know, Vader and stuff. Why would he go after the other bug and not finish this one first? Skill point. Huh.
Patrol the base. Got another breach down here. Some kind of webbing. Hey, who's that?
You can sense their last thoughts? What if you sense the last thoughts of a stormtrooper that you kill? Oh God. Oh God. This looks so much like Star Wars Force Unleashed. Huh. I'm gonna slow down time again. Watch this. Ah, I did it! Barrel of refined Roshir sap.
I just heard from the captain. They're coming. Oh, this is it. At least we got
No
the
one
light
saw
cutter.
him.
What was that? Cutter 7 is active. Reporting a live cutter near the cell block. Immediate aid requested. It's breaking through and destroying everything.
Ah. That's brutal. That's funny. He used the old Kylo Ren trick, but then he pulled somebody to him. The old Kylo Ren. Bit more actiony than I think he needed to be there. What's that beam, though?
The Jedi will be here any minute. And our reinforcements in retreat. Good. Sir, the fewer distractions, the better. Jedi incoming!
Oh, God.
You cannot escape!
So... I feel like as this character, you're like super overpowered. This may not be on the hardest difficulty, but I feel like there's definitely not very many situations where you're gonna be like overwhelmed, it seems like. That was the hardest it's been so far, and it looked pretty easy. Oh, it was a nice dodge. There's a cool dodge mechanic. Uh-oh.
Little help. Need to slice this. Guards.
Yeah, it's a trap. You know that's a trap.
Hey, we're here to free you. Not alone.
Visitation is not permitted.
Woo! Is that supposed to be like a nemesis type thing, like it follows you around through the whole game? I mean, it looks amazing. Like, as far as visually, the graphics look awesome.
Games play best on Xbox One.
I just don't know how I feel about the
What do we
gameplay
think?
mechanics.
What do we think, EA Play? What are we missing by not having our hands on the controllers? Like, what do lightsabers feel like?
I mean, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Like what?
Because it looks like it's got weight to it. and
Oh, it
throwing
feels
and
great.
punching it, right?
Just like
that's
you'd
the
expect.
impact I think I want from it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's really satisfying. I mean, the game itself, it's thoughtful combat, as Stig likes to call it. It's what you saw was a really good player.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll
Right
have
over
to
there
work up
again.
to
He'll
that
give out
stuff.
autographs after this panel.
So you can block, parry, deflect. Like
Yeah.
we want the combat to feel really good for people to go in and be able to.
Okay,
like,
there's
be part
some
of it
better
and
examples
size
of
up the
what we
enemies
saw.
where
Like, I don't
you
think
feel
he
right,
fought that
and
many
It feels really
groups of
Yeah,
players
it's also
during
it's about
that match.
enemy arrangements as well, like what enemies we're putting you up against,
Or during
how
that
you go
play.
in and use your tools
Yeah.
to take them down. But it's not just lightsabers; it's the Force as well.
Sure. Well, that's part of
Yeah.
this. You were talking to me last night about it, right? This thoughtful combat, and the idea that when I watched the demo initially, my thought was, "Oh, these are canned animations, right? I'm doing a force grab and stabbing the guy, and that's all. I hit R1, and that happened." That's not that way.
No, it's all freeform.
So like you can go back in and replay things and do it differently, or you and I would have different
Absolutely, and actually the enemies react to each other in different ways. You saw the flame troopers fighting against the spiders. You could sit as bystander and just kind of watch that fight if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get any skill points if you do that. And it's not any fun either. It's fun to
All
watch
right.
sometimes, but
It is.
it's a lot more fun to play.
You talk about the skill points. Are those going into the force abilities?
Yeah, so we're going to have the classic abilities. We're going to have push, pull. We've got what we call force flip, which is essentially double jump,
Nice.
which is nice because that's something that makes sense in Star Wars, a Jedi actually doing a double jump. But we have one unique expression of the force that you saw in there, which is slow, which is a little bit of the glue between force, push, and pull.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. I think
Okay.
I thought you couldn't top my favorite moment in the demo, right? Where you come around the corner, grab the stormtrooper, force pull the stormtrooper, stab him, but when you force pulled the stormtrooper and walked him into
Yes.
one bolt, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's one of my favorite. I think the first time I saw that, I freaked out a little.
No, you actually
Yeah.
said it better be in the demo.
Yeah.
Well, you did it. You delivered. Tell me about
Cool.
the enemies we are seeing there, right? Because that's one of those things I feel like we're talking a lot about, seeing things a lot about, as we're running through the environment. You had different things. You had your normal stormtroopers. You had non-normal stormtroopers.
Yeah, and this is just a small portion of the game, by the way. So there's a lot more that we haven't
You're
shown.
saying that
but
isn't the entire game.
That is not.
It's wow.
Whoa,
Right.
that's
we
cool.
we got our classic stormtroopers. We've got the
He
scout
didn't show the
troopers
entire
you
game
saw
at
equipped
E3.
With,
That's
kind of melee
unheard
charge
of.
weapon. We've got the flame troopers, but we also have the purge troopers, whose task is to basically hunt Jedi.
Yeah.
Soften them up before the Inquisitors come in.
And like we're seeing right here, right? Like this bad.
That's the
MF
purge trooper.
That's
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, exactly. Like so
new that the team created.
in.
Yeah.
There you go. Adding to the Star Wars the story outside of Wada should be in it.
Well, story's a really big deal to us. We created this with Lucasfilm. We got to keep a really tight lip on it. So
Thanks.
I don't really
Great
want to
panel.
go
It's
into it
over.
too
Everybody
far.
go home.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, the story.
I'm gonna save it.
Okay. I know one of the things a lot of people have been asking, right? I'd put up stuff on Instagram saying, "Hey, give me questions." Community wanted to know. This is Star Wars canon, right? You said-
Totally canon.
Okay.
Totally legit.
Cool.
Okay.
This is
Canon
a real-
story.
Cal's a real character.
Yeah.
You saw Gerrera in there. He's
Yeah, Saw Gerrera is who I was
obviously
thinking
part
of.
the Star Wars universe. Seer, Cal's mentor.
Yeah.
They're all gonna live in other places.
The other big community question I've seen a lot is, it's a Star Wars game, and Star Wars games in the past have allowed us to go light or dark. Is that a choice here?
No,
Okay. Well.
Okay, well that shuts
Why
that
not?
down.
because. No, I think it goes back.
It's probably
to
based
the
on
fact
storyline
that
elements.
Cal's authentic,
Yeah.
and he has to fill a certain role so he can be used in other places.
Yeah, this is a Jedi story.
Well, that's the thing I appreciate the most, that you guys are coming in and telling a story, right? Like, I think that's why so many of us are excited for it, is the idea that this is a Star Wars story, that you guys have something to tell, something to say, and a lot of walls to run on.
It's gonna be a long presentation. This is more about the Jedi. The name escapes me right now. Star Wars. Oh wow. That's cool though.
Hey! Who are you?
Got a name?
Cal Kestis.
Saw Gerrera.
I'm here on Jedi business.
Jedi are dead.
Not all of them.
A Jedi.
I mean the game looks cool. Like I think like because it's so like rich in Star Wars lore and Star Wars like canon, that I think it's gonna be good storyline wise. I just don't know if I want to play it.
Jedi are not yet lost. Hope is not yet lost.
Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I'm okay. You all right? No, we are not doing that again.
I think I need to see more on that game before I can say whether or not I want to play it. It doesn't look bad. I just don't know. Alright guys, let's discuss that. Let's talk about that. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is coming out in November. What do you think? I'm going to let you guys post in the comments below what you think about this game. I mean, I saw this game and I think... I mean, it looks good. It really does. It looks visually, it looks stunning. It looks like a great... it looks like everything is done in the theme of Star Wars, which is what you need for a Star Wars movie. Saw Gerrera is in it. There's a new Jedi named Cal, who I guess in storyline wise he goes from being like a Padawan, even though there are no Jedi anymore. I don't know who trains him, so maybe someone trains him. And now he's not quite a Jedi, but he's kind of in that like grace period of learning and developing and growing. So storyline wise, it looks good. I mean, it looks decent enough. It's going to be canon in the Star Wars universe. So for those of you who enjoy Star Wars movies, I mean, I'm one of those people. So that'll be cool to have like a canon video game storyline, because all the other storylines for the video games are not canon anymore. So this will be cool to have, a canon story. And it just looks good. That's all I'm going to say. And that's just visually, and the fact that it is a Star Wars canon story. I think overall, generally, I'm thinking about the game as gameplay, and I've watched the video, the 15 minutes of live footage. I watched the trailer, and I don't see the game as being that challenging. I mentioned it live on my stream the other day, and I didn't. I cut out some things for time on this video, but that was one of them. And I don't think that it's going to be challenging. It doesn't look challenging. And they kept talking about this person playing the game as being an expert player. And I was like, okay, so he's played the game, what, 2, 3 times, 4, 5? This segment of the game, how many times has he played it to be an expert player? How many times would I need to play it to be an expert player? By this point in the game, should I already be an expert player? Like, what's the criteria for being an expert? Because he didn't look very challenged playing this game, and I think back to Star Wars Force Unleashed, and I think about how the expert mode of that was just a nightmare. Like, it was super hard to get through, and I died like there were times where I'd spawn and I just die, and that was it. Like, there was a whole I had to respawn and start over. But in this game, it didn't look like he was that challenged. It wasn't really a hard difficulty. It didn't look like, and he never died. So, and of course he couldn't have died, because I know that they weren't ready to show that off. But I did hear from GameSpot that they're working on understanding how respawning works in this game, how you die, and what happens after you get killed. So I personally don't know how I feel about the gameplay. The gameplay, as far as your force abilities and moving through the environments, looks fluid and great. But I just don't know if it's going to be challenging, and I don't know if it's going to be something that I pick up and play, and that I enjoy. I know that he did say also that there's no branching tree line, there's no light side, dark side, so there's no decisions that you have to make in that area. And I think that's fine, because most of the time when there are branching tree lines like that, it doesn't matter which way you go. There's always one decision that influences whether you become evil or you become good. And Force Unleashed did that at the end of the game. Fable did it in the middle of the game, and it's very obvious what your path is going to be when you make that decision. So I'm glad they're not doing that, and I'm glad that the game looks good. I have to see more gameplay to understand really what I feel about it. I just don't know right now how I feel about the game and how it's going to be successful. And I mean, Star Wars is kind of in a rocky situation right now after The Last Jedi. It seems like half the fans are split. Some like it, some don't, and it just, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens when the game comes out. Comes out in November. I might be watching it a little closely to see what kind of sales come out of it. I don't expect it to be super amazing, but it might surprise me. So, and it seemed like a lot of people were clapping in that audience, so it could happen. But that's Star Wars Fallen Jedi Order coming out in November, and hopefully we get some super exciting revelations from the lore and the story of canon Star Wars from that from that game. Oh God. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.